Hey, it's Rob again, and here's my review of RB Customs Superpowers Green Arrow action figure. Green Arrow, one of the exciting figures back in 1985, had a noticeable scale problem compared to the other Superpowers figures. What was really amazing about the Superpowers line is that it, for the most part, the scale held up within the line pretty well. As you'll see in a minute, Green Arrow was sort of notoriously underscaled compared to the rest of the figures. Roan Bella and the amazing work that he does was able to sculpt a figure. It was one of the first things I saw from Roan was his Green Arrow action figure. And I thought, wow, what an amazing improvement. And, for those of you who've seen my earlier reviews, you saw some of the great work he's done, particularly with Superman, Robin, The Flash, and this one is absolutely right up there. So many great tweaks, improvements, and enhancements to this figure that make it truly the Green Arrow we always wanted. So here we see him in his original Neal Adams costume. I'll point out sort of what's changed, and I'll show you the two figures side by side so you can see the difference. But you'll see, starting at the very top, the feather on the cap, much more prominent, stretched out. The neck, he actually has more of a neck now than he did previously, in addition to a collar. The goatee, look at that amazing goatee on the side. That is perfectly Oliver Queen, the turned up mustache as well. And the mask, it's no more, it's not green, or it's not black anymore, it's green with this version. Coming down, you see a couple of other major changes. He has shoulder pads on each arm, and he's got this sort of black cross stitching across his torso, which really, really gives you that classic, again, Neal Adams look. If you turn around the figure, you're going to see that there is a full quiver this time. There is a quiver with room for all the arrows. And, we got sort of the non-full version last time, maybe so we could, I'm sure so we could stuff a few arrows in of our own, but they've never fit well as it was. So it was great to get this version with that fully stocked. And pivoting back to the front, again, you can see that classic goatee. Pivoting back to the front, a couple of things you notice here that are really cool. Number one, oops, and actually it does stand pretty well, but occasionally I'll drop him because I just get kind of clumsy with this. One, his height has been changed dramatically. Roan was able to actually lengthen his legs and steady his right leg, or change the position of the right leg. The right leg on the classic figure didn't always stand properly because it needed to be positioned a little bit more. And you can see that it also works perfectly with the classic bow. So this is my bow. The bow is classic, the arrow is classic, the string is a repro because, like everybody else, I lost my string back in the day. This was not my figure, although some of my original figures I have used. This was a base that he used. But you can see the coloring is incredible, the look is incredible, and here's where you're really gonna see the difference. So if you're a big fan of Who's Who, like I am, I always wanna get the scale right, and that's why I'm complaining so much about Green Arrow scale. And if you go back to sort of the Who's Who of old, and this is probably not going to come off very well in this particular picture because of the angle, but Who's Who of old would say that both Green Arrow and Green Lantern stand about 6'1". They should see eye to eye. I think that's changed. I think now Ollie Queen is supposed to be around 5'10" or somewhere in that neighborhood. But back in the day, they were 6'1". So what you see now is that you can have Green Lantern and Green Arrow see perfectly eye to eye. So he is scaled to the correct height. And where you're really going to see this is when we put it next to the original Green Arrow figure. This is, again, my original figure you'll see next to him. And you can see just a massive, massive difference. I mean, some of the difference is just in the paint apps. We know that Roan Bella, RB Customs, he uses that great wash, that great matte wash on everything that he does. There has been a real substantive repainting, though, across the board with just a richer color of green. We always had a little bit of this dull sort of drab olive green on Oliver, right, back in the day, which makes sense, but it looks so much better when you draw it out with kind of this richer dark green. Again, the height difference is stunning, right? There's probably a good 1/4 of an inch, to a 1/3 of an inch difference in these figures. And, a lot of that is due to getting the legs lengthened and to getting a neck for this figure, which it didn't previously have. And again, we see where, the arrow storage on the back, of course you could throw your arrows in there. That was a good recipe to get them lost. And it's just cool to see that the Roan Bella, the RB Customs version, has that full quiver. So again, great version from Roan, and I highly recommend everybody check it out. You can go check out his Facebook page, RB Customs. He has examples of great customs that he's put together there, including this Green Arrow figure. And this is just one of several more that I'll be getting from him. So look for more reviews soon. Please leave your comments below and feel free to subscribe. Thank you.